Hey, today's day 32 that I've been on the Skinny Coach plan with Dr. Tiffany Wright, and it's going well. I feel good today. I haven't been having cravings, been sticking to my eating plan, but today I wanted to specifically focus on anxiety and panic attacks. It's not something that I've been really open with, and I've only kind of briefly mentioned, I think, here before. They first started happening when I was like 19 or 20, and it was either right before or right after my dad was diagnosed with cancer. And when I'd have them, I wouldn't believe they were panic attacks. I think I was legitimately dying, thought I was having a heart attack, and they terrified me. I was afraid to do any kind of research and really understand what was going on. I chose just to believe that I was an idiot, that had hurt myself, and that I was now sick and physically something was wrong with me, that it really wasn't this anxiety and panic attacks that they were telling me about, that it was just they were wrong, that something was physically wrong with my heart, and I'd hurt myself because of my weight. Well, in reality, about a year and a half ago, when I finally decided enough is enough, and I'm going to start trying to figure out how to take care of myself, I found out that, I guess by the grace of God or whatever you want to call it, I'm not all that religious, I came to find out that physically I'm a relatively healthy 29-year-old man. Shocking, believe me. I didn't believe it for the longest time. You know, I'm over 550 pounds, close to 600, and the biggest medical complaint that the doctor had was your blood pressure's kind of elevated. And on this small dosage pill, it's been normal. The bigger issue was this emotional anxiety, issue that I've been having. I wasn't diabetic. My cholesterol wasn't so bad that I needed medicine. It was just by talking to the doctor, they, felt like a lot of my issues were stemming from these anxiety and this panic attack, and I started working with a counselor trying to figure out a way to attack this. And I finally got to the point that I 100% accepted it's an emotional issue. It's embarrassing. I don't want to talk about it. I don't even want to admit it to you right now, but instead of dealing with my problems, I kind of bottle them up, and the bottle's now overflowing, and it turns into anxiety, that turns into a panic attack, and that if I want to grow and get better, I had to figure out how to solve this. Well, one option was medicine. It sucked. I hated it. It took away my manhood, literally. It took away my creativity. It numbed me. There were no more highs and lows, which was good, but I kind of liked my highs and lows. Not as extreme as they were, but I didn't want some numb flat line. And I had to get off the medicine. It was awful. I hated it. And I told my therapist, we got to figure out a way that I can start controlling this on my own, and that I can take control of my life. And while I was working this out over a year and a half, I really wasn't losing weight, but I was getting better emotionally and getting in a stronger place. Well, in March, I was fed up. It was time to start losing weight. That's the only thing I wanted to focus on, and that's what I did. And somehow I met Tiffany. It was serendipitous. I met her. I got on the Skinny Coach plan. It's been fantastic, and the whole point that I even wanted to bring this up is my anxiety has gotten so much better working with Tiffany. And I kind of had an epiphany today of, why is that? Well, when my anxiety is at its worst, I've lost control usually. And when I can't control myself and I'm feeling sad or anxious or having panic attacks, I'm just gorging and eating, because that's how you get to being a 600-pound man. Surprise! That's how it is. Instead of dealing with your problems, I ate. And that's what I did. Well, now, that's not an option. I can't be a virile man, a manly man, a man that's on the Skinny Coach plan and eat my problems. I had to come up with something else, because I wanted to work with Tiffany, and I knew there were no more excuses. Well, So now there's no chaos. Now my eating is 100% under control. I know exactly what I'm going to eat, how I'm going to eat, when I'm going to eat, what I'm going to eat. There are no questions. So now when problems come up and I feel anxious, I have to address it. There's nothing else I can do. So I've got to talk to Tiffany. I've got to figure it out on my own. I've got to call a family member, work. I've got to reach out and do something else other than eat. And now all of a sudden, the panic attacks aren't gone, the anxiety's not gone, but they're happening so much more infrequently. And I feel so much better about them. And, sometimes I wish the anxiety was only tied to, family and feeling bad and, bad events. But that's not the only type of anxiety that I, experience. Sometimes, here's a great example. Nothing to do with my family. It doesn't even make sense. It was totally irrational. I'm driving down the street. I see a man cutting trees using a chainsaw and a ladder. And my mind can't stop itself from going all these doomsday scenarios. What if he falls? What's going to happen to him? What about his family? I'm sure this guy's got kids. Somebody should be out there. He shouldn't be alone. Am I a bad person for not stopping and helping him? Because God forbid, what happens if he dies? Is that my fault? And I drive by, and it's on bad days. These stories, just from seeing one little scene, just one real life event, can spiral into all these different stories, and I just lose it. And when I lose it, I don't go crazy and yell and get mad and scream. I just I have a hard time controlling my breathing. I get extremely anxious and nervous. I get scared. That sometimes manifests into my heart racing. And, for whatever reason, my body doesn't regulate emotion very well. It turns it into this physical response is the best way I can put it. And, who knows? It may be something I deal with for the rest of my life. But I know that I'm in a much better place today because of my work with Tiffany and with the Skinny Coach. And there's a much more order in my life. And there's not as much chaos. And there's not as much fear. That's another big thing is I live with fear. Part of my anxiety was also I just stopped wanting to be around people. And, stopped wanting to go out because I was afraid of what other people thought of me and, what they would say. And I still have those issues. I think that's natural for everybody. I'm not good enough. I think a lot of people at different times in their life say that or feel that or unconsciously say it. But I don't care as much anymore. And I'm learning not to, just kind of say F it. If you don't like me, so be it. I'm going to do the best I can and be the best person I can be. And, the Skinny Coach plans kind of allowed me to be that and do that and feel that. So I don't want to admit it and sit here and talk to people about my emotional problems, but I think it's healthy, and maybe it'll help somebody, and if not, I think it helps me a little bit being more open and honest. So hopefully, you got something out of me talking tonight, and if not, so be it. I got something out of it, and I feel a little bit better. So thanks for listening tonight, and we'll talk to you guys later.